How's everybody doing this week? This is Philip T. Smith Saboyede, and welcome to the GRITS podcast. Hopefully, everybody's doing well. I'm excited tonight. I have a good topic. I think you guys are going to like it. As you know, I am the president of a very large gun organization, but I also like talking about things outside of guns and related to guns. So, this is kind of a podcast that meets me halfway in my mind, and hopefully, you guys will like it. So, tonight we're going to talk about felonies, and if should felony be a conviction that impacts your whole life permanently and without any type of resolution where you can get rid of it. And it's a touchy topic with some folks. Some people believe that if you do something wrong, you should get punished for life, and there is no way to get out of that. And I'm of the mindset that there should be some type of sensitivity or understanding or empathy to that particular person, especially if they're very, very young, 19, 20, 21, 22. We've all been young in our life and done things that are quote unquote stupid. And by the grace of God, we haven't been, for a lot of us, been given a felony, driving while drunk, getting in fights, stealing stuff, even as teenagers and as adults in school, and just doing some nonsense. But I think we should have some compassion, because what happens when you have someone that has a felony, it prevents them from doing a lot. And when you prevent folks from having the ability to seize the American dream, I think it's problematic long term, because what do those folks do that are looking for jobs? What do those folks do for housing? What do those folks do for employment? And I'm telling you, as a former HR recruiter and consultant, I can tell you, when you can't get a job, it's very, very frustrating, particularly for those individuals that are, need to have food on the table for their kids, not just themselves, for their kids. So let's talk about that tonight and see what happens, and see if you can get some feedback on that very issue. Let's dig into it tonight and see what happens. So first of all, let's get the definition of a felony. I wrote it down here. Okay. A felony typically is a crime involving violence regarded as more serious than a misdemeanor, and usually punishable by imprisonment for more than one or more, or by death. That's kind of vague. That's very vague. Let's just think about that for a moment. That could be anything. I mean, typically you can throw a rock at a police car when I was a kid, or an egg, and you would just get written up. They take you to your mom and dad's house and get a slap in your head. They whip your butt, and that would be the end of it. But nowadays, if you're a kid, when I say kid, I'm considering someone 18, 19, 20, still a kid. They're legally, are they adult, quote unquote? Yes, but the mindset, the life experiences aren't there usually. So I would guess that it's a lot more punitive now. There's very little compassion when someone does something, especially in the high school years. Some of the stuff that I did when I was 18, dine and dash, with at your local Denny's or IHOP, or during Halloween throwing eggs at folks out there, having rock fights. Nowadays, that might be a felony if you get caught. Fighting in school, especially, we fought all the time. You got detention or something like that, but never the possibility of getting locked up. But nowadays, kids definitely have a higher bar to be clear, to be deemed someone who is worthy of being involved in the general society, the mainframe of society. Just imagine, just think for yourself. I mean, I'm an old cat at 64, but just imagine 20 years ago, all the stuff that was going on. You didn't see a lot of the things that you see now, in terms of the punitive action by law enforcement and the legal system. I think you have to have some compassion. So let's try to look at that and try to have an understanding what might be the best thing to do. Now, there are basically 4 or 5 levels of felonies. First level is drug crimes, or the first category. And that involves manufacturing or cultivation of drugs, distribution or intent to distribute, possession, trafficking, sale, money laundering. That's the first type of felony. Second is violent crimes. Murder, voluntary manslaughter, rape, mayhem, attempted murder, assault with an attempt to rape, murder, assault with a deadly weapon. Now I want to stop here for a moment and just pause. If you're a violent person and you go around hurting kids or adults and you are assaulting people, you're shooting people and killing people, I don't think you need a second chance or should get a second chance, especially if it's something that's planned out. I would even possibly have a little bit of latitude. If someone did something in the heat of the moment. In other words, they got into a fight and they thought their life was in danger, and they shot someone. I would deem that's somebody that should be given a second look. But if you're going around planning to rape people, planning to hurt people, planning to do all these things, then I don't think you need a second chance or should get a second chance. When you murder somebody and you're in the process of stealing something from them and you murder them, I think that's it. I don't think you should have any type of extra feedback or extra opportunities to redeem yourself. You've made your choice, and that is your choice. So yeah, I do classify felonies different. Violent, nah, you don't need anything. Nor should you have that option. But if you're selling marijuana on the corner, or selling drugs, writing checks, that's a different thing. In the third category, let's look at the third category here, is theft. A theft shall be classified as a misdemeanor unless the dollar value of what was stolen exceeds $1,000. Any theft crime that exceeds $1,000 will be charged as a felony. Kid can steal a car. He can steal an expensive bike. He can steal a motorcycle. He can steal an expensive watch. He could steal something out of your home that's valued, a lot, and that particular person will go and have a felony assessed on him. And I just don't think that. Do I think it's wrong? Yeah, no argument there. I do think it's wrong, but I do not think that particular person should be punished for what they are doing. I just don't. So that is my take. Now let's see here.